so far?
Visible in regards to what?
Well, you tell me you basically haven't been around other than to do your whatever. You haven't been available. You haven't been talking. You're not on the field. You're not.
I've been at work every day from 6 a.m. till midnight in the office.
Doing what?
Recruiting, hiring coaches, talking to administration, things like that. I have not gone on the football field out of respect to the coaches that are coaching this game and the players that are coaching this game. Having been in their shoes over the years, the last thing I wanted to be is a distraction to them. And so I have stayed away from the football field. I've walked out on the field 3 times, and each time not felt like it was a spot that I should be. But for anyone to insinuate that I haven't been working or haven't been at UCLA would be false.
Where are you at with staff?
Excuse me?
Where are you at with staff?
We're in pretty good shape. We've got a couple guys that we'll probably announce right after the new year. So,
defensive coordinator?
yeah, we'll be announcing a defensive coordinator.
So you've hired somebody?
Excuse me?
You've hired somebody for the defensive
Haven't,
coordinator?
no, it's not official, but it's looking good. So the staff should be filled by Monday or Tuesday. So, because the dead period ends Tuesday, and we want to be able to hit the road running on Wednesday.
What are you looking to see today?
Well, I'm basically watching it as a fan first. You know, I want to see my new team play, and then, you know, as a coach, anytime you watch a game, you evaluate it as a coach. It's hard to separate the fan from the coach. So, you know, I want to see who can make plays. I want to see who plays hard. I want to see if I can get a feel for body language and how it might be able to interpret attitude. I want to see guys that fight to win, and you know, you won't be able to see all of those things, but I think I'll get a feel for it.
When you were here with the Niners, and you had a reputation, guys, an enthusiastic coach. Be more enthusiastic than a college coach, you think?
You know, I don't know. I don't plan my enthusiasm. You know, I am what I am, and I react how I react. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy competing. You know, I like being around athletes and kids in a competitive environment. And you know, I think when you're doing something you enjoy, then there's just a natural enthusiasm. So I don't think about it. I just am what I am.
How have you taken recruiting so far?
I've enjoyed it. It's been a challenge, but it's been a lot of fun. You know, I've had some home visits. I've been on the phone, like I said, you know, every night we start in New York, basically, and we work our way to Hawaii and finish up about midnight, which is 9 o'clock in Hawaii, making calls across the country to kids, and it's been good. You know, every kid kind of has a different question for you. You know, I had a feeling coming in that maybe you'd kind of have a canned presentation that you'd give parents and kids in their homes, and that's absolutely not the case. You know, you go in there and you have to get a feel for you know, what they're looking for, what their questions are, and be prepared to talk on different levels. So it's been a challenge, but I'm lucky because the coaches that I've been able to hire and get on staff quickly and go out and recruit with are ace recruiters. And so, you know, I've tried to learn from them as we've gone.
What's your sales pitch?
Well, I don't think there is a sales pitch. I think, you know, if there's 2 questions that most families have, and I'm talking families, parents, and the kid, it's what kind of education am I going to get? And we all know that UCLA is a great academic institution, so they know they're going to get education. And then a lot of the kids want to know, how can you help me achieve my dream, which is to play in the National Football League? And that's a pretty easy one for me because I spent 25 years in the NFL, and I think I'm uniquely qualified to help those kids acquire the mindset, the work habits, the skill set that they need if they're willing to work and if they have the God-given ability to play at that level.
Just get the sales pitch.
What's that?
We just get the sales pitch.
If you want to call it a sales pitch, yeah. But those are really the two main questions: education and future. And then a lot of kids will ask, and parents will, you know, what are the plans for my son, you know, on your team? How are you going to use him? So it's a different answer with everybody, obviously.
What's your reaction to have been of your hiring? There's been both positive and negative. Did the negative criticism surprise you?
To my hiring? No, it didn't surprise me at all. I expected that. Well, I'd never coached in college football before, so of an unknown quantity there. They'd gone after some high-profile guys that they, you know, weren't able to land. So, you know, it was to be expected. No, it didn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I anticipated it. the only thing I can do is, go to work every day, do the best I can, and hopefully win enough games that the criticism goes away.
Have you bumped into Kiffin yet?
No, I have not bumped into Kiffin yet.
Have you heard from him?
No.
No?
No.
When you get with your team for the first time, what's going to be item of business number one? What's going to be your first priority?
Well, I actually met with them the day that I did my press conference, before the press conference. We had about a 20 or 30-minute meeting, and I just talked about some of my expectations for them, some of the things that we needed to do going forward, and then I left it at that. And I'll meet with them again on the 9th. That'll be our first team meeting, as me, with the guys that are coming back, not the seniors involved. So we'll get into more then. But like I told TJ, I just felt like as a coach, in transition, I know how difficult it is. And so for me to go out to practice every day and be around the players, and I just felt it would be very disrespectful to those guys who work so hard to get where they are. And so that's why I've kind of stayed low profile, but we've been grinding.
Do you realize, you see this now, how far UCLA has fallen? I mean, here we are today, and no offense to the people who are putting on this bowl game, but it's not what the people of LA aspire to for their local football teams.
I think it's very obvious that we've got a ton of work to do. I mean, it's just in being around the university now for 3 weeks, talking to various people, whether it be people in the equipment department, or people on campus, or coaches that have been on the staff, or the few players I've talked to, there is a feeling that is consistent with what you're saying. But there's also, I think, a motivation to get back where everyone wants to be.
Everybody's motivated when you start fresh.
Yeah, and it's going to take a lot of hard work, and it's not going to be easy. But I think that we've hired a good staff, and we're going to go after it. I mean, that's all we can do is we just attack and do the best we can, and try to bite it off in chunks and gain the ground that we've lost.
Do you think the USC monopoly is over?
You know what? My concern is not Southern Cal. My concern right now is UCLA. And when we get to the week where we play Southern Cal, then we'll worry about Southern Cal. But
well, that's naive, isn't it? I mean, you're recruiting
How's
against.
That?
Well, I mean, there's 2 of you in town, and it is an everyday thing.
Well, I'm recruiting for UCLA against Cal, against UCLA, or against Cal, against Southern Cal, against Arizona State, against Washington.
They don't like to be called Southern Cal.
Well, that's what I call them, Southern Cal. So, yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm talking.
It's a competitive environment, TJ. And
you have to have a PR guy who protects you already?
I don't think so. But in terms of worrying about Southern Cal, I'm not worried about Southern Cal. I'm worried about UCLA. They do what they do.
That's a good thing to worry about, given what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Do you know the whole monopoly thing?
Monopoly in terms of the game.
You don't know
the board game.
The history of the monopoly. You don't know the history of the monopoly word.
No, and I'm not really concerned about it. If you want to tell me, that's fine, but I really don't.
Okay, we'll let you go down that road then on your own.
As far as recruits, I'm sure asking them how long you think it's going to take to get this thing turned around and back on the right track. I'm sure that's a concern when you're talking to them. What are you saying?
Well, I mean, we're behind in recruiting just because of the circumstance. When you come in late as a new head coach, you've got ground to make up. But I think that we've made up some ground. Now, we'll know for sure on February 1st when the fax starts ringing and the NLIs start coming through. But I think we've been able to jump in on some kids that maybe weren't as interested before. I think that I think they're intrigued by the fact that I have an NFL background and that the staff I brought in already had relationships with them. So I can't say it's perfect, but we're making progress.
But as far as them wondering when this program is going to get back on track?
Well, they're a part of it. It's going to get back on track when we get guys like you in the program. The sooner we get great athletes like the guys that we're talking to in the program, then the sooner we get back on track.
So from what you've seen so far, can you be successful right away in your first year?
Define success.
Winning more games than losing.
That's the goal. That's the objective, yeah. That's the objective.
To win more games than you lose.
Of course, that's always the goal.
So
that's the
7 and 6, I guess.
I would be foolish to stand here and make predictions on what our record is going to be.
Other people have done that in the past. And they
well, I'm not
foolish.
concerned about the past. I'm concerned about the future. That's why I don't care about monopoly. I care about the future. So.